Hey YouTube, just doing a video today. How y'all been? It's been a long time since I've put anything up, and I thought today I got this thing. I wanted to talk to you guys about something. Got this thing at Goodwill for like $5. This is an oldie, but apparently still a goodie. This is a Vivicam 5100. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having senior moments right now, but anyway. Got this at the Goodwill for like $5. So I'm like, well, how bad could it be? How good could it be? $5 is a good gamble. So took it home, threw a memory card in it, went out and I took some pictures with this thing, and it surprised me. Anybody that's ever played with Vivitar equipment knows this is not A-line stuff generally. And this particular unit was released back in I think it was 2005 if I remember right. So it's a 15-year-old camera. And back in those days, digicams, you either went the really expensive route, which was DSLRs, and you had to have thousands of dollars to blow on it, or you went the consumer route, which was the little point and shoots. And you could get a good point and shoot for about, well, maybe a Coolpix or a Canon or an Olympus, maybe in the neighborhood of $200 to $300. And then there were these guys, these little things like this, these Vivitar cameras, and they were definitely the B line. It all depend. Vivitar had this thing where sometimes you got a good model, sometimes you got a really crappy model. My first camera was a Vivitar. It was, oh God, it was an old, I think it was a 2 or a 1 megapixel. I can't remember. It's basically what a webcam is today, but back in those days, you got to think back. 2005 all the way back to the late 90s, digital cameras were just becoming a thing. They were just getting to the point where average people could get them. And the technology was not near as advanced as it is today, and yet they still did their job. Well, I saw this, and I grabbed it, and like I said, I threw some batteries, and I went out and I took some sample pictures. This turns out to be a pretty decent camera. I'll probably narrate another part of this video, but this is equivalent. If you ever had one of those Fun Saver 35 disposable cameras, or you just had a little point and shoot 35, oh, maybe something like a Kodak or a inexpensive 35 millimeter film camera, this surprisingly gets you the same results as one of those cameras. You're not going to go out and do incredible works of art with this thing, but it's great for capturing the moment. It does really well at snapshots and surprisingly well at other forms of photography, landscape, architecture. This thing, for a 2005 camera, can also do night shots, which surprised the heck out of me. This has a 1.9 second shutter. And these things, they pop up on eBay. You can find them at Goodwill. You can even get them at places like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes one will pop up there, though I don't know because Facebook keeps locking me out of every damn account I create. Some stupid thing there. But anyway, uh, easy to get. They turn up. I would advise getting one. If you just want something, I've had the best time using this little camera that I've had in a while. There are things where you need precision results when you're doing really, really high grade photography, but then there are other times when you just want to pick one up and use it. And this, you just pick it up, slide it open, there it goes, it's booting up, and it's ready to go. And it just takes a little snapshot. If you want to do indoor photography with it, you got to use a flash or a tripod. It definitely, you'll want a tripod for this. But when you have a tripod for this takes amazing results. You just pop it onto the self timer for 10 seconds, leave it all in auto. You can play with the white balance and stuff like that, but it does pretty good at handling white balance. There's only been a few instances where it messed up at it. And yeah, gotta have my morning coffee. Anyway, it does really well. Handles that. It has auto ISO. Though the ISO, they say it goes 100 to 200 or its two settings, but when I've taken pictures with this thing in the daylight, in the bright, bright daylight, it'll actually shift down to 50. It's undocumented. It's not in the instructions or the manuals or anything. So there's a few little things, little bitty gitchy things in here that it has that are helpful that they don't even mention, and that's one of them. But super easy to carry. The only downside, cameras of this time were always hard on batteries. They ate batteries like candy. This has got the best thing you can do. This is a 2AA camera. Don't get alkalines unless you're in a pinch. Go get you some good Duracell high capacity rechargeables and you can shoot all day with this thing without killing the battery. The big killer of the battery on this is the flash. If you get to the flash and turn it off right after boot so that it doesn't charge it up even though it doesn't need it, it does very well. It'll run a long time without a flash. There isn't much really to show on this. I mean, this is your front, little bitty flash bulb. You don't have to even worry about focus. This is one of those fixed focus point and click. You don't have to worry about it. I think it's like 3 feet to infinity. You get reasonable focus. Has a macro, basically goes 2 to 3 feet. So it's not much of a macro, but you can get those portrait shots with a macro of that type. And the aperture goes down to, it has a fixed aperture of f3.5. Apparently every picture I've shot with this thing, the aperture is 3.5. Shutter speeds, God knows. I know it goes down to 1.9 seconds. Ooh, hiccups. And I know that it'll go at least around 1,000th of a second, because with that aperture, trying to shoot in the sun with a 3.5 aperture is going to cause you heartaches there, unless you can really get your shutter speed high. And it does a good job. I've got some stuff on Flickr, and there's examples. I'm going to put examples all through this video. So, in fact, you've probably already seen a few, because what I'm going to do is, as I talk, I'm going to intersperse that with those sample pics. I've got the night portfolio done. I just have to do the day portfolio. The only thing also you got to watch out for this, these are old cameras. So the SD cards that you get for this one goes up to 512 megabytes. You can't even put a 2 gig in it, but it's only 5 megapixels. So, you can shoot all day long. It's like 450 pictures you can stick on a 512. And let's face it, a snapshot camera, you're not going to run that 450 up. You might, maybe during a birthday party or a Christmas event. But it's easy to get out. You just plug a USB mini into this, and you can export everything onto your computer. Works in Windows, works in Linux, because I have Arch Linux running on that machine over there. And with Shotwell, I can extract from this camera. You can extract from it anyway, because when you plug it in, it just becomes another disk drive. You don't need any special drivers or anything like that. A lot of early cameras, you had to have them. But this one, they had their act together when they designed it. It was designed to be super simple. On the back, you just have the tiny little LCD screen. It's enough that you can see how your picture came out. It does do video. I can't vouch for it because I haven't tried it yet. I don't think it's suitable for YouTube. It's probably like 320 by 200 or something like that. They didn't really have, you didn't see anything even approaching standard definition until the late 2000s, mid to late 2000s, say around 2008 to 2010. Then you started seeing some 720p and you started seeing some 1080p stuff. 1080p, you paid for it. A lot of even expensive cameras around the time period of this, all the way up to about 2012 or so, a lot of them, because they were designed primarily for stills, they threw video in as an afterthought, and you maybe got up to 640 by 480 on them. And so that's something to watch out for. If you're going to do video, if you want to do vlogging, this probably isn't what you want. But this camera is great for stills. It surprises me. And anybody can pick this up, pop it open, and take pictures. And it pretty much does the work for you, with a few caveats. And I just thought I would put that out there. As like I said, you can find it in Goodwill for about $4 or $5. If you find one, it's the Vivitar Vivicam 5100. A surprisingly good little snap shooter. And that's probably it for this video. I can't think of anything else to say about it other than that. Just once you get it going, turn it on, take pictures. And it takes good ones. Y'all have a good one. And I'll talk at you later.